Hi class, welcome to week 5. We're talking about personality theory from the psychoanalytic social psychological perspective this week. And so instrumental in this theory is Karen Horney and Erich Fromm. So from Karen Horney's perspective, she was someone who studied under Freud, but then sort of deviated and went her own direction on several of his ideas. And one of those ideas is his concept of penis envy. According to Karen Horney, though, men are envious of women's ability to bear children, rather than women being envious of men for having a penis and them not having one. She believed, and part of her theory was that many of men's efforts to produce creatively and at work, being able to compensate more at work and make more, and all those efforts is their effort towards compensating, I guess, for the lack of ability to have children. And so when we think about womb envy, we know, or from her theory anyway, she believed that Freud never really addressed the different places in society that men and women have, that women weren't envious of men so much for their penis, but they were more envious of the place that they had in society. And so those power dynamics were created because of that. And then men became envious of women's ability to bear children. And women are strong, and their ability to bear children, they place a lot of emphasis on, and they feel really wonderful about, and they're able to nurture and feed from the breastfeeding standpoint, and that men are envious of this ability to create and bring up life. And so some of the ways that she believed that men would try to compensate for that, are in their work and trying to make more money in society. But the other place was that their power over women, when they would do things and try to have power and control over women, that was a representation of this womb envy. And so I think about maybe some other ways that you've seen men trying to take on power, or take power from women in society today, if you believe in this concept, and if that may have anything to do with Karen Horney's ideas about womb envy. You can kind of be thinking about that. Women, without women, Karen Horney believed that, we know without women, men wouldn't even exist, because she would have a son, and the son could only carry on his name with a woman. And so, an example of this womb envy in history is King Harry VIII, and how he executed his wife, Anne Boleyn, for failing to give birth to a son. He needed a son to pass his power to, but was unable to do so without a woman to get pregnant for the birth of the child for him. And so if he could have, he probably would have, maybe, that's the theory, but he had to rely on a woman's power in order to get a son. And so while women do all of the heavy duty work and carry the baby for 9 months, little did Henry know that it was his sperm that determines whether the child becomes male or female, but sure, put all the blame on Anne that he was not able to have a son. And so relying so heavily on women for this childbearing stuff, men in her theory become envious. And so again, think about maybe men today that seem like they take power and are in positions of power and seem like they have to dominate and domineer, and maybe consider whether or not that fits with Karen Horney's theory of womb envy. Okay, so read about that in your text. I'll post some more videos on some other concepts related to this week's psychoanalytic approach.